What up, people? Welcome back. It is Monday night. As you can see, I'm here in my new living room. I just bought a brand new house. I want to show you how it looks. Haha. Anyway, there's some kind of uh, technical difficulties going on with my computer. I apologize for it, but I get it straight. We'll be back rocking and rolling next Monday. Thank you for joining another episode of Chaotic Conversation. We're going to be the 11 live action Star Wars movies from worst to best. The 11 live action Star Wars movies, worst to best. So thank you for, as usual. You got the usual suspects in the house, Mr. Chris Knight. Got Mr. Anzo. How you doing?
What up?
You got Mr. Terrence.
What's up?
We got our lady of the stream, Mad's Mama Bear. And then last but not least, new kid on the block, Mr. Bosco Scenario, aka Gascar. How y'all doing tonight?
Doing good, man.
Doing good, man.
All right.
Good, man.
Explain to the people before us. Okay, Maz. Everybody see the private chat what Maz say?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. We're gonna rock and roll tonight, ladies and gentlemen of the chat. A very sometimes controversial subject. Star Wars is a very split fan base. Some are for it, some aren't for it. I personally am a fan of it. As everybody on the chat, I'm pretty sure there's some movies they like, some movies they don't like. There's some episodes of The Mandalorian that they like, some that we don't like. But tonight, we were talking about this for the past couple of weeks. Just concluded with the top 50 all-time evil villains, and there's a lot of Star Wars characters in that listing. So tonight, we are going to list from worst to best all 11 Star Wars live action movies, excuse me, that came out by Lucasfilm. I know this is going to be very controversial because I've heard some of the picks from last week. One of them I couldn't believe, but that's there. But what I want to hear the most, I'm going to let go first. That would be Mr. Anzo.
Really? Really? You want to hear me go first? Why me?
Because I ain't believing you're number 11. But if you don't want to go first, I'll pick somebody else.
No. I have no problem. Absolutely going first. So, I don't know why you don't believe what my number 11. Oh, I know why. Okay. Well, we all know. You guys know I've been doing this and talking about it for a long time. And my number 11 is Solo, a Star Wars story. I am sorry, but that movie was boring. I did not enjoy it one bit. I did not like the actors in it. I did not feel Han Solo, the guy that played Han Solo. I didn't feel the guy that played Lando, except for one scene in that movie. When they first say Lando, when they first show him, like you hear his voice before you even see him, and it sounded 100% like Billy D. Williams. But then the rest of the movie, it was just like, meh. Then they tried to get into this Lando's a pansexual shit and all of that crap. Now, I get it. I know some people say, well, it was never mentioned, but no, it kind of was in a hidden certain agenda type of way. You know what I mean? Not only would no one have, and no one would have ever even said anything about it if it wasn't blasted all over the internet, where some of the writers or producers or whatever came out and started saying, yeah, Lando's a pansexual and stuff like that. So that movie for me was a hot piece of shit on a hot summer day. Is that how you say it, Terrence? Is that how you say it, Terrence?
Yep, hot sunny day.
That's it.
So shit on a hot sunny day.
There you go.
Before you go to number 10, I want to put in the super chat for Mad1306. $2 super chat. Thank you very much. He said Mortal Kombat movie got released, a release date of April 16th. That is awesome. I am ready to see it. Also, I'm going to jump to the second super chat and I'll let you go, Anzo. I appreciate the super chat. All good things should be paid forward. Thank you. Re-review $3,005 super chat. Thank you, Chris. Appreciate it very much. All
You're
right.
welcome. Thank you.
Did you lose the jelly beans?
No, he last night on the Mandalorian Roundtable, he wanted to say something. He sent me a super chat, and I wanted to return it to him because that it's just that way for me. You could have said, "Hey, man, I got something to say." So, but I appreciate it, but I'll return it right back to you. Thank you very much.
You see, now that's some respect. You know what I mean?
Not a
When
problem.
people do that shit. But anyways, so now back to my number 10. 10, right?
Yes.
10 for me is again another movie that I know you guys are gonna be like, what the fuck? But yes, my number 10 is Rogue Squadron.
God.
I, again, it's another movie that I absolutely despise. I hated because I didn't like the characters.
It's Rogue One, not Rogue Squadron.
Rogue One. I said Rogue Squadron. Oh, my bad. Oh, Rogue One.
It's
Whatever.
coming out.
Same damn thing.
No, it isn't. But okay.
Right. It's again the same thing. I just did not like the characters. I did not like Gina Erso. I didn't even like Forrest Whitaker as whoever he was playing.
Paul Guerrero.
Saw Gerrera, that's it, you know. Asian dude, didn't like him. Story wise, wasn't really feeling it. Like Danny said, the only part of that movie that was good was the part with Darth Vader. And that's, for me, is just not enough to put that movie anywhere where it is. Now, granted, you can take Solo and Rogue One and you can flip those motherfuckers on a given day. You know what I mean? For the bottom. The next one I am going to go with, which would be my number 9. Yeah, number 9, I think. Yeah, whatever. Last Jedi. Oh my God. Do I need to get into what they did to The Last Jedi? What they did to Luke Skywalker and all that shit? Maybe not, because I know there's people on here that actually like that movie. But for me, that movie basically was, I guess, Star Wars kind of started a downfall for me. I mean, Force Awakens kind of started it, but I was okay with Force Awakens a bit. But Last Jedi was just like, who? You put a mama joke in there right away at the beginning. I was like, nope, I'm done with that. Can't have mama joke in the Star Wars movie. It just doesn't fit for me. Next is Rise of Skywalker. Now, Rise of Skywalker is another piece of doo-doo Star Wars movie. It really is. But for some reason, it just felt a little bit more like Star Wars than the rest of them. But everything else they did in that movie was just absolute garbage. The Kylo Ren and the Rey shit. I don't like the Force Skyping or the Force transferring the lightsabers to each other. Wasn't feeling that. Now, don't get me wrong. I like new Force powers. I want to see new Force powers, but those ones just didn't do it. And for me, Rise of Skywalker was just like fan service. You know, whatever JJ went online and read about the people were wishing for, wanted to see, he put in that movie. So next, we're going with The Force Awakens. Now, The Force Awakens for me is just a rehash of A New Hope, but it gave me kind of hope to be like, oh, okay, a new Star Wars movie, you know, and it was okay. Then they made Finn a fucking janitor, and, you know, they killed Han Solo. I knew he was going to die anyways, but I don't know. Just killing Han doesn't sit right with me, you know. Just the fact that that movie was a rehash of Star Wars, The New Hope is what makes that movie still puts it above the rest, but sequels are on the bottom of my list for the Disney movies. Next one, we're going to go with the Attack of the Clones. Attack of the Clones was okay, I guess. You know what I mean? Especially as a George Lucas, I don't want to say it was trash, but it was okay because I liked certain things in the movie other than the movie itself. There was enough in that movie for me to say, okay, I really like this movie, you know. So the fight scene at the end with Mace Windu and all the Jedis, I love that. The Yoda scene, I mean, when Yoda comes out and he pops his lightsaber out, my theater went crazy, man. Like, they stood up, they were clapping and shit. So that was an epic scene that George Lucas did. And if you watch the documentaries, man, he makes sure, he's like, yo, this scene has to be done right, you know. So there's Attack of the Clones. Next one would be The Phantom Menace. And I mean, The Phantom Menace was the first Star Wars to come out after, you know, the original trilogies. And that was the first movie that I ever went to a midnight showing to. I stayed in line to buy tickets for this movie, and I was pleasantly surprised. My son's mother at the moment, like, she went with me. It was supposed to be one of my friends, and he didn't go. So my son's mother went with me. She passed out in the movie, but whatever. She wasn't a Star Wars person, so I forgave her for that. But I mean, just the people in the theater, the vibe, how it was. As soon as the Star Wars logo came up, people started clapping and cheering and standing up. There was some dude that was there, and he had his face painted like Darth Maul, and his eyes had the yellow contacts in there. Man, he looked really good. So that was an experience, and that was actually what started me seeing movies on the first day. Not midnight, but on the first day. Next, we're going to go with Return of the Jedi. I like Return of the Jedi. It's definitely up there on my list. I love the fight with Darth Vader and Luke at the end. I love all the stuff on Endor. You know, Darth Vader and Han were like my two favorite characters in Star Wars. So Han had a major role on Endor, and Darth Vader, you know, had his role in it. So Return of the Jedi is that one. Next, we're going to go with New Hope. New Hope, the original Star Wars movie. I love it, but to me, it just doesn't hold the test of time, really. You know what I mean? Like, if I watch it again, I can watch it, but the effects are kind of meh. You know, when you see the New Hope.
Okay, all right.
New Hope. You know, when you see the fighting at the Death Star scene, I mean, he must show the same clip of the TIE fighters doing that role like 3 different times in the movie, you know? But other than that, New Hope was the one that started it off, and you know, you can't have it up there on the top of your list. You just can't. My number 2 is Revenge of the Sith. Now, for me, I think Revenge of the Sith, like I said, is the second best Star Wars movie that they made, because that fight scene with Anakin and Obi-Wan at the end was amazing. When you see the documentary where they're like really fighting, no speed up, no nothing, they're practicing 24 hours. That was amazing. The story was amazing. I liked the way I actually liked Anakin in that movie, man, because he had that look on his face, like you could see that he was turning to the dark side, you know. And when I watch it, I'm like, yeah, that little evil face that he has, I think that's one of the reasons why he got that role, you know, because when you look at him, he just looks like fuck this shit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
His acting isn't great, so that's the only really reason why I could see that. But in Revenge of the Sith, it was a lot better, you know. So that's my number 2, and of course, number 1. And when it comes to Star Wars, so far will always be my number 1 is The Empire Strikes Back, man. That movie for me was classic. And again, I'm one of those guys, me and Terrence have talked about it, I talked about it before. I love when the bad guys win, you know, and Darth Vader being one of my favorite characters. What he did to Luke in that fight scene, like just toying with him, is absolutely amazing. Like, he had us, I don't give a fuck attitude. You know what I mean? Boba Fett's like, oh, what if he dies? He's no good to me, dead. He's like, oh, you'll be compensated if he dies. You know what I mean? Like, Darth Vader just doesn't give a fuck in that movie. So that is my number 1 movie of all times when it comes to Star Wars.
Okay. We're going to do a recap. Solo, number 11. Rogue One, number 10. Last Jedi, number 9. Rise of Skywalker, number 8. The Force Awakens is 7. Attack of the Clones is 6. Phantom Menace is 5. Return of the Jedi is 4. New Hope is 3. Revenge of the Sith 2. And Empire Strikes Back is number 1.
That is correct.
Okay. Next, we will go with Mads. Oh, before we go to Mads, we're going to read Ninjoy's $5 super chat. Thank you, Ninjoy. Appreciate it. Ninjoy said his number 11 is Solo. Number 10, Attack of the Clones. Number 9, The Phantom Menace. Number 8, Rise of the Skywalker. Number 7, The Last Jedi. Number 6, The Force Awakens. Number 5, The Rise of Skywalker. No. Number 8 was
Number
Return of the Sith, wasn't it? Revenge of the
no,
Sith.
Revenge of the Sith.
Revenge of the Sith. Number 5, The Rise of Skywalker. Number 4, Rogue One. Number 3, New Hope. Number 2,
Empire Strikes Back.
Empire Strikes Back. And number 1 is Return of the Jedi. Interesting list and enjoyed.
Younger generation, they seem to like Return of the Jedi as their number one, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I think even my son liked Return of the Jedi.
Enjoy. After you get your drug test, let me know what the results are. All right, Maz, it's your turn.
Hey guys, long day. All right. I have to admit, I actually just finished my list. Though I thought we actually talked Star Wars before.
We never listed them that I'm aware of.
Not the whole 11, but I'm pretty sure we had done. Like I remember doing this before.
We might have done maybe the prequels, maybe the original trilogy.
I think we did.
Maybe, but I don't think we've
I
done
think we
all
did
of
the
them.
original 6, but yeah, I know we didn't do all of them. Okay, number 11. Gonna go with The Last Jedi. I admit, still haven't seen it.
Which one?
Last Jedi. Haven't seen it. I even had it kicking around here. Apparently,
Oh my god!
I found the CD. I found the CD-ROM, and yeah, or the DVD. I don't.
Can't bring yourself to watch it. I don't blame you.
No, everyone I've talked to keeps telling me the same damn thing. You haven't seen it? Don't. Then I'm gonna put Solo right up there too. Might as well, you know. I mean, you can't do that. You can't do that to him. You can't do that to Lando.
So
That's not right.
Your number 10 is Solo, you said?
Mhm.
All right.
That being said, from the one from a few months back when we we're talking about what we would be in the universe, yeah, I'm gonna go for a robot in that case. But just saying. I thought you'd get a kick out of that. Okay,
That was
right.
beautiful.
Number 9, Rise of Skywalker. I sat there the entire time watching that movie, going, this clip is from this clip is from that. The whole movie was just famous clips from other movies.
I'm not mad at you. I was not a fan of that.
No.
Go ahead.
Goonies did it better, though. Just saying. Number 8, Rogue One. I tried to get into it. I really did. I know there are people who are a fan of it. I'm not. It was just too far out there, you know, Star Wars. I admit, not a huge Star Wars fan, but it was just too far out there for me. Force Awakens. You know, I really wanted to like that one. It had potential, but it just fell flat. And this is where we start getting in where I'm glad Onzo doesn't have control of the button. Because I'm sorry, darling, I was introduced to the prequels first.
Okay.
Number 6 is New Hope.
That hurts. It's a dagger.
For me, I knew the big reveal beforehand, but there's a lot in there that going in watching it knowing is really cringy for me, especially the kiss. Just no. Gonna follow that up with Return of the Jedi. I'm a prequels. I was introduced to prequels first.
That's you.
Thank you.
Okay, it wasn't in A New Hope. Whichever one had the kiss in it, that one would be the bottom.
I mean, Luke and Leia's kiss?
Yes.
That was no.
It's Empire.
Empire,
Empire.
right?
There you go. Put that one then.
What?
What?
Where?
Oh,
The kiss is cringy as shit.
Empire Strike Back.
Only after the fact.
I watched it knowing
Which
full well into it.
what? The Leia Luke kiss?
Yes.
Didn't know they were
Well,
brothers
I'm
and
going
sisters.
from never. I'm going from when I saw it the first time. You didn't know that.
Yeah, when I saw it the first time, I already knew.
Well, that's not our fault. That's
I know
not the
that's not your
movie's fault. It's not the
the
movie's fault. That's because you didn't watch them in the right order.
No, I watched them with a Star Wars fan that couldn't shut the fuck up.
That doesn't help either.
No. So you're just gonna put all of the original trilogy in that list there. I told you guys, I'm not a huge Star Wars fan. If I can't even get the names right. I'm gonna go Attack of the Clones for number 3.
Attack of the Clone.
I liked it, but of the prequels, it was the one that fell the flattest for me. Other than that whole fight scene at the end, I'm with you. That as soon as Yoda brought out that lightsaber, even I was celebrating. Phantom Menace, and I'm only putting that as number 2 because of the epic fight scene and Revenge of the Sith. The showdown between Anakin and Obi-Wan, that's the only reason why the main reason why that one tanks. And the whole reveal of him becoming Vader. That's got to be number 1.
Your number 1.
The Sith, that's number 1.
Okay.
Are you kidding me? I see you there, Aiden. I grew up Star Trek, not Star Wars.
Okay, Mad said The Last Jedi is number 11.
Mhm.
Number 10 is Solo. 9 is Rise of Skywalker. 8 is Rogue One. 7 is Force Awakens. 6 is New Hope. 5 is Return of the Jedi. 4 is Empire Strikes Back. 3 is Attack of the Clones. 2 is The Phantom Menace. And 1 is Revenge of the Sith. I also would like to see your drug test once it comes back.
I don't do drugs. I can't even do T3s.
You're doing something.
Well, you might want to check and make sure somebody didn't put anything in their coffee.
Hey, you guys know me. You talk superheroes. I'm down for it. Star Wars. I'm only in for the Star Wars fans.
Okay.
I respect your picks, Mads.
I respect them, but come on. How do you put... Sorry, I have to adjust my...
Oh, you see him in the Phantom Zone there, guys? Car? Can you respect him there?
Oh, wow!
They're my picks.
Wow.
You put me in the Phantom Zone. Don't take it out on him.
Okay, Mr. Guys Car, since you're respectable and all that good stuff, you next.
Sure. No problem. My number 11 is Solo. Just like Gonzo said, did not like what they did to Lando.
So,
If I block my mind and don't think Star Wars, yeah, it was entertaining. But besides that, definitely did not like the movie as a whole. Nothing related.
Canadian conspiracy. But go ahead.
But the only good point that I liked about Solo was the fact that you saw Darth Maul at the end, slightly.
Spoilers.
The last Jedi would be my number 10. They fucked up Luke, like Anzo said, completely. Again, entertaining. If you're not a hardcore fan, you'll find it entertaining. But if you are a hardcore fan, you know that was just a messed up shit show from beginning to end in continuity. My number 9 will be The Rise of Skywalker as well. I was hoping like he fixed as much as he could fix. It did feel a lot more like a Star Wars movie, but nothing close to what we're used to from the 80s and 70s. My number 8 will be The Force Awakens. High expectation, came out very short. It was just a regurgitation of A New Hope with little twists here and there, but Disappointed. Should I wait for him to come back?
No, keep going. He'll probably ask you which ones he missed.
I think the bunch of us upset him so much he left.
Seriously. He's like, screw these Canadians. Fuck that. I'm out. Number 7 would be The Phantom Menace. Didn't like it. I was like so disappointed. Waited in line for those tickets. I did not like it at all.
Phantoms on your ass, boy.
I didn't. I'm being honest, man. It, like Jar Jar just killed it for me.
Shit, I'm out.
Number 6, Rogue One. I enjoyed it. I like the fact that it felt like Star Wars for me. Yes, you know, I'm one with the Force. The Force is with me. That was a little bit annoying, but I liked it. I enjoyed it. I liked how they brought in, you know, the New Hope at the end. Darth Vader was hot at the end. Yes, that really made it a better movie at the end for some, but definitely I found it was a great movie. Number 5. Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna have to ask you to do 7 and 6 for me.
Yeah, 6 is Phantom Menace. Sorry, 7 is Phantom Menace. 6 is Rogue One. Okay.
All right.
5, Attack of the Clones. I just love the whole story of how the clones came to be. I was really looking forward to that movie when I heard that it was going to be called Attack of the Clones, all because of the Clone Wars and, you know, what Obi-Wan said in A New Hope. I enjoyed it. I didn't find anything wrong with it besides Anakin's acting in that one. But besides that, I found it was a good movie. Number 4, Return of the Jedi. What is there to say? I think actually, Hanzo, did I go see that with you?
It was possible.
I think we did. It was because
I've
it was
seen
all
it
of us.
so many times, man.
Yeah, it was all of us.
Yeah. The Carry Square.
No, it was the first day it came out. We went to the Imperial to see it. I remember being lined up like around the block of the Imperial.
It's possible.
Yeah, you were there. You were there. It was all of us. Yeah, Return of the Jedi. I enjoyed that movie. You know, everything, the full circle. Luke confronting his father, turning him back. What more can you say? That was a classic Star Wars movie from beginning to end. 3, New Hope. You know, I used to love my Christmases were watching that movie, renting it on beta, believe it or not, and and watching it every holiday, going to the video store. That was like my Christmas movie. Number 2, Revenge of the Sith. Just love the whole transitioning into Darth Vader, like Anzo said, seeing Anakin, you know, turning to the dark side, everything he did, the manipulation of Darth Sidious to get him, you know, the whole manipulation about saving Padme, the fact he couldn't save his mother, that really messed up his brain. You know, the whole scene with Mace Windu when Mace wanted to kill him and he didn't, that for me was freaking epic. When he actually chopped off his hand and he went flying out the window, I was like, holy crap. You know, you can't do that to Samuel L. Jackson. You know, that was my thing. You know? Like, I was waiting to hear.
But they did it.
You know?
That would have been funny if they let something like that in there. Look at the hand.
Probably in an outtake.
Just at the end, you know, how the twins got split up was I found really cool. And of course, number 1, with no shadow of a doubt, Empire Strikes Back. Hanzo said all the points. For me, it was everything from the snow, because, you know, we're Canadian, we love the snow. It's cool. And the minus 40 weather. You know, that's what we usually live in around this time of year. And, you know, just you know, the Tauntauns and Han and that, the whole Han and Leia thing. 3PO, you know, getting blasted was great, you know, because it shut him up for a bit. And yeah, Cloud City, Lando, the introduction of Lando, Boba Fett, more Boba Fett. It was just it just fed you for more watching that Empire Strikes Back. You wanted to know about those characters. So whenever you heard about a book or whatever coming out for that particular character, you wanted to read it and know more. So those are my top 11.
Man, that's the Snow Walker scene though. The AT-ATs. I love that fucking fight scene, man.
Dude, I remember
And
when he got it,
where?
man.
Empire?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I remember when this guy got it. He was in the backyard playing. I'm like, right second floor balcony. I'm like, you got it? He's like, yeah. Freaking, I never ran down those steps so fast.
And I think someone stole that shit from me.
That's what you said. I don't know.
My three cousins got like almost every original Star Wars toy, and I'm trying to talk to my uncle to get it and bring them over here and set them up.
Mhm.
I wish I
still got
still
'em.
had mine, man. I wish. I had the Falcon, I had TIE Fighter, no, X-Wings. I didn't have a TIE Fighter. The Falcon, the TIE Fighter, I had the AT-AT, I had the AT-ST, I had Snow Speeders, I had everything, man.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to do with my GI Joes. Set up a mock-up on it, and then my father give them out to all the kids in the neighborhood.
Yeah, my dad made me give away all my toys too. I'm like, come on, man, really? Like, nope.
Yeah.
All right, we'll do a recap for Guy Scar's picks. He said number 11 was Solo. Number 10 was Last Jedi. Number 9 was Rise of Skywalker. Number 8 is Force Awakens. Number 7 is Phantom Menace. Number 6 is Rogue One. Number 5 is Attack of the Clones. Number 4 is Return of the Jedi. Number 3 is New Hope. Number 2 is Rise of the Sith. Revenge of the Sith, rather. And number 1 is Empire Strikes Back.
That's right, sir.
All right. All right, Mr. Chris, you're next, sir.
Okay, well, I'm going to get ready for some groaning and stuff on some of this. Number 11, The Rise of Skywalker. While I think of the trilogy, the sequel trilogy, it is the best looking Star Wars. It is absolutely the most horrendous when it comes to following it. I tried to watch it again the other day. I got about halfway through it, turned it off, and went to something else because I was like, I got to pay attention to even try to see what they're trying to do here. I love to look at it. I mean, if you watch it and mute it, or maybe buy the soundtrack and play the soundtrack over the movie and have no dialogue in it, it'd probably be a lot better. The worst part about that whole thing, at the very end, when they have all the ships show up, it's like, what the hell?
Oh, all of that shit was stolen straight from Endgame, man.
Well, it's kind of like that, yeah. But it's like, what the hell is this junkyard that you guys just throw up there on the screen? And then I've seen people do pausing of that scene and show like all the different ships that they stole from other series and different things. It's like, what the hell? There's some crazy shit in that scene if you pause it and actually look at it. Number 10. The Force Awakens. As it goes further back, it drops down. I think that this is probably midway originally, and I think as we went back and as they've added to the series, it drops for me. Killing Han isn't a good thing either for me because that's my favorite Star Wars character. So it's like, kill him. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that. So, number 9. I don't know if I'm going to get Phantom Zone tomorrow night. The Phantom Menace. That movie is where I think Star Wars started taking a track in the wrong direction because again, too much into it. He explained way too much that we didn't need to know, that we didn't know for the original trilogy. Jar Jar. Not that I hate the character. I think Jar Jar could have been done much, much better.
You got one comment.
Yeah.
You putting that down. They introduced one of the most beloved villains of all time in Star Wars.
Yeah, they misused him. They didn't keep him long enough in that movie. There's a lot of things wrong. I'm not saying it's a bad movie. I'm just saying that looking at it, you're like, man, they could have done so much more with that movie, and they didn't. They could have kept Darth Maul alive. He could have done Jar Jar. I'm not saying Jar Jar had to change fundamentally. I'm just saying it was just really silly. And I understand it was trying to be for kids and stuff. It just
You're
Jake
saying
Lloyd.
it was so sorry?
I don't
What?
give a shit about Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah, Jake Lloyd. I don't know. He came across flat to me. Hayden Christensen wasn't always that much better, but he had moments. I think when Hayden Christensen got to action, he was really good. But if you gave him a part that was supposed to be like, the love scenes and stuff like that, I don't think he could carry that. But that's another movie. Number 8, right?
Mm-hmm.
Solo. I don't hate this movie. I totally agree with the Lando comment. It was ridiculous to make that happen. I understand they put the robot in there for no other reason than to eventually become the nav system of the Falcon. That makes sense. It's great. But you don't have to make this little hanky-panky love story between the two of them. So that definitely drops it down for me. Besides that, I don't think they really screwed with Han Solo's backstory enough for me not to like this movie. It's similar to his backstory. It's not the same.
Not intended.
But it's not the greatest. I think that anytime you go in and you change a director part of the way through through production, it's going to cause issues to begin with. So, number 7, The Last Jedi. I understand the problems people have with Luke. I understand people who have problems with the story and all that. I didn't have that much problems. I had to make a lot of context up for myself. The problem with Disney sequel trilogies is they didn't give us anything to lead us into them. They just came in and said, this is it. This is where they're at. This is how it is. And why? It doesn't make sense.
Mm-hmm.
None of the sequel trilogy really makes sense for what it is, because they didn't give us anything between Return of the Jedi and The Force Awakens. If they had done something like that to show why Luke was that way, or why he cut himself off from the Force and everything, I could have accepted the movie a lot more. So
you're saying like putting like a Star Wars story in between those?
Something, yes. And I still think that that's what they may be trying to get to eventually. I think part of the reason The Mandalorian is to try to fuse what was the old stuff that Lucasfilm did, and I think that's why Favreau and Filoni are in charge of it. I think they're trying to fuse that into what the sequel trilogy is. It's never going to make the sequel trilogy work the way it should have, but it might help. It might help. I'm not saying it will. I think that that's something we needed. Right. And I'm not saying it makes sense for Luke to do that, but Luke was never a full-on optimist, I think, like a lot of people paint him. He was always, but I have to go back to the farm. I have to do this. Oh, damn it. I wanted to go with you. He was always like, he was more like a whiny kid.
Man. Come on.
Huh?
You have to get power converters.
But he was like a whiny kid in the first one. And the second one, he completely disobeys everything he's told. I don't think that ever leaves a person. I think one bad thing happens. You take your sister's son and you want to train him, and the training goes south. Now, I don't agree with the fact that the one thing I do not agree with in that movie is that I don't think anything he would have done would have ever brought him to bring a lightsaber close to that kid. He would have figured out some other way. He would have done something else. He may have left right there. That could have explained why he just left. He just dropped everything right there and left because he thought he was a failure. That could have made more sense. There's lots of ways they could have fixed it. But I don't think fundamentally it's the most horrendous movie of this whole group of movies. There's lots of problems. Trust me. The whole sequel trilogy has lots of problems. Now, number 6. Yeah, number 6. Why I love this movie, Attack of the Clones, is it makes things better. But there's the sand dialogue thing that just, wow. There's some bad stuff in that movie. But I loved seeing the start of the Clone Wars. I loved seeing the clones being made. It was so awesome, that scene when they come in and then the Imperial March, dun, 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 and they're showing all these clones all over. But that was amazing. I love that. And we really get to see Obi-Wan be himself in that movie, become again more, and you get to see that real, I guess pious is kind of the word. that man that is always in thought, even when he's talking to somebody. Because during that whole scene when he's talking to the cloners, he's trying to add it up. He's like, this doesn't make sense. That's not right. Something more is here. But he plays the game with them that he's there to collect the troops. So he's at the whole time he's really doing several things at once, and I love the scenes in that movie that deal with those things. Number 5, overtime. This one slipped. I don't think it's going to slip any farther than this. It's Return of the Jedi. I love the movie, but going back, it has aspects where he really tried to make it more of a kids movie again. All the Ewoks are fun and all that, but man, sometimes it's just like, okay, I got enough of that. The murder bears, as some people call them, because, well, that's what they are. Don't tell me I'm wrong, because, I mean, what do you think they're eating? They've got all those empty helmets at the end. I mean, they're eating the damn stormtroopers. They're murderous bears.
Well, they were going to eat Han, Luke, and Leia at one point.
Yes, I understand that. But now they have all the stormtroopers they can eat. You can't tell me they're collecting all of them. They're leaving them out in the woods to marinate for a few days. And
they're eating them.
They're going to eat everything. Yes, you're right. But there's some cool scenes in that. And in the final fight between Vader and Luke, man, that fight up until Revenge of the Sith, that might have been the best one. Maybe the Duel of Fates with Maul, Obi-Wan, and Anakin, that's excellent. But I think the feeling behind the fight between Vader and Luke is amazing. And you can tell Luke is that far from turning. Because when he says sister, he loses his shit.
Yeah.
And you can tell. And that was really important in that movie. Number 4, Rogue One. Rogue One.
Oh, God.
I'm sorry. Listen, the characters aren't important. I knew as soon as I was going into that, they're all going to die. I knew that was going to happen.
It's not about them dying. They were bland. All the characters were bland.
That's fine. They don't, it doesn't matter about the characters. The characters don't have to be. You don't need to care about the characters. That's the whole point. That's why they're bland.
Yeah, but you have to care about them to like the movie, or else you're not going to like the movie like me.
No, I think for me, it's like watching something historic take place. I don't care. I'm not. They don't have to say this is Bob. Bob was in the beaches of Normandy. Bob was killed, and I don't need to know about Bob. Those are just people that help the story move along, that help get me to where I want to go. And I'm not saying you're wrong, Anzo. I completely understand where you're coming from. They were bland as fuck. Yes, I don't disagree. They were stolen from Dark Forces too. If you go look it up, they are completely stolen from past Star Wars stuff. I just like watching how that happened and how we got to A New Hope. And then add in the fact that they had Governor Tarkin, Grand Moff Tarkin in there. I think that was excellently done. It makes me think they can do a lot more with Star Wars and go back and do older Star Wars stuff with those things. It really made me happy to see that. The Leia thing was horrible, but that was put in literally, they said 2 weeks before they had to have the movie shipped to the theaters, and they rushed all that. So I give them a pass on that. But Tarkin was
seeing Vader in his castle was cool too.
Yes, the Mustafar scene was great. That was all that Vader was supposed to have in that movie, and the fact that they added the fight scene at the end, that is what made that movie, and that's to me more important because that literally connects that movie to A New Hope. And that I literally, every time I watch Rogue One, I have to watch A New Hope right afterwards because it fits so seamlessly into it.
Chris, could I add something to what you're saying? Also, the fact that there was the Easter eggs of Rebels, right? As well. Yes. When you hear it on the intercom, General Sandula, and you saw, what was that, the droid's name again? It actually passed by them when they were walking.
Yeah.
Chopper, is it?
Chopper,
Chopper.
Of all of the Disney stuff,
I think Chopper was the tiger-looking thing, wasn't it?
No, Chopper is the droid.
What's the tiger-looking thing name?
Oh, I don't remember.
Tiger-looking. Oh, that was starting with a T.
Guys.
Taz. I forgot what his name is. The purple dude, yeah.
Yeah. That's the best Disney Star Wars we've gotten so far. I'm hopeful for Rogue One with Patty Jenkins on board. Manda is really good, but those are, that's a series and that's a movie that isn't out yet. But as far as I'm concerned right now, Rogue One is the best thing they have put out, which proves they can do it. Yes. Does it follow everything perfectly? What?
His name was Zeb.
Okay. While it's not perfect and there's lots of stealing from things and they changed names of characters and stuff like that, fundamentally, I looked at it and I'm like, this is as close to Star Wars as I think we've gotten on the screen yet. And it still is to this day to me. Number 3, Revenge of the Sith. This one can interchange with number 2 for me. It can go back and forth because Revenge of the Sith is the best of the prequels. Everything with Hayden Christensen in that, I think he did pretty damn well. There are places still, the part where he's talking, anytime he talks with Padme, I never bought Padme and him. Natalie Portman and him just didn't work well together. I mean, I'm not saying it didn't work. It just, to me, I didn't buy that they were in love. It was forced. I mean, that could go back to George Lucas doesn't know how to write dialogue sometimes, and I think he wrote a lot of it, so maybe. But I look past that stuff with the prequels for the most part. But again, you guys have said it. That final scene on Mustafar, all of those parts of that fight are just amazing. They're going up, tearing up this whole place as it falls apart. And literally neither Obi-Wan or Anakin at that point, or Vader, whatever you want to call him, at that point, neither one of them seemed to really care about themselves. Obi-Wan cares about Anakin and wants to save Anakin. Anakin absolutely despises Obi-Wan by this time and wants to kill Obi-Wan. Even as they're standing there and here's Anakin screaming at him with his legs cut off and all that. He's saying, I hate you. I hate you. And Obi-Wan's there dying inside saying, you were like a brother to me. This isn't what was supposed to happen. The two sides, how much it changes through the prequels. Obi-Wan still cares deeply for him, even at the moment that this guy on the ground would kill him still if he could. And there's a lot of emotion behind that scene. And it is probably one of the best Star Wars scenes ever. Number 2, Star Wars, or as some people call it, A New Hope. I call it Star Wars to this day. It was never listed as anything else originally, so I still call it Star Wars. I love the setup. I think it's a clean film. I go back, when I first remember watching it on my own, when I could do it, put in a VHS. I remember it seemed like it took forever. The whole scene on Tatooine, all those scenes, it seemed like it took forever. Now I watch it and it's like, boom, we're out in space immediately. Like it goes by so quick now. But man, just the way that they introduce Han Solo. Han shot first. For those of you who think different, please email me at 1-800-GO-FUCK-YOURSELF. So anyways, and then unfortunately everything they've done to that movie over time, minus the scene where they show Boba Fett, didn't really help it much. The McClunky scene that they've recently added, oh God, I have no clue what they were thinking. And they claim that's the last version they received from Lucas. So maybe it was Lucas who did it. And if he did it, I have no clue what he was thinking. And it's his fault again for getting the scene that Han doesn't shoot first, which when I listen to his commentary, he sits there and he says, well, I didn't want you to think he was a bad guy. Why not? He's a smuggler. He can be a bad guy. The whole point is that he turns into being a good guy. So what if he kills somebody at the beginning of the whole thing? You got to change somehow. So number 1, and Anzo and Geiskar said it. The Empire Strikes Back. I don't know if there's anybody that can convince me there's a more complete movie out there that it's sandwiched in between two movies, but you don't need those two movies. You could have left it alone as a standalone movie, and it does so well on its own. It tells everything you need to know, even if it doesn't seem to incompletely. The bad guy wins, and that's fine. It works. It is everything that The Last Jedi only could beg to be. I know that they were trying to do that with The Last Jedi, and it just fell flat. But I don't know, man. That movie, the Dagobah scenes, you get lots of training. You get Luke, and you see him struggling with the Force that he's learning to use. He's struggling to understand if this is real, what he's seeing with his friends, or if it's like Yoda says, you know, it may not be that way. But even if it was, what are you going to do about it? You know, there's so much going on in that movie. And, I mean, there's actual stakes. It ends up Han Solo is frozen in carbonite. They have to flee. His hand gets cut off. You know, just everything's up in the air. He's abandoned his training. We don't know that in the next movie he won't technically be able to finish it. He's just told you have to go face Vader anyways, which, you know, after the end of Empire, why would you even feel like you could go back to that? I mean, 'cause he kicked your ass basically up and down. I mean, but the movement of that fight at the end through the different areas, I like it, and I like it even more now because it harkens back to the end of Revenge of the Sith. Because they're going through all these different areas, and it's really cool to kind of compare the two. That they're doing very similar things. Yeah, that's my 11.
All right, quick recap for Chris's picks. Rise of Skywalker is number 11. Force Awakens is number 10. Phantom Menace is 9. Solo is 8. Last Jedi is 7. Attack of the Clones is 6. Return of the Jedi was 5. Rogue One was 4. Revenge of the Sith was 3. New Hope was 2. And Empire Strikes Back was number 1. All right, Mr. Terrence, it's your turn, sir.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Hello, humans. Terrence here. I'm going to do two things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to read my list from worst to best. And then the second thing I'm going to do is quickly break down how I feel about those films. Starting at number 11 is Rise of Skywalker. Number 10, Solo, A Star Wars Story. Number 9, The Last Jedi. Number 8, The Force Awakens. Number 7, The Phantom Menace. Number 6, Attack of the Clones. Number 5, Revenge of the Sith. Number 4, Rogue One. Number 3, Return of the Jedi. Number 2, the original Star Wars film. And number 1, The Empire Strikes Back.
Wait, hold on. Wait, Terrence. No explanation, or did I miss something?
He's going to.
Oh, okay.
So,
You said
I'll
quickly
start with
now. Quickly. I'm holding you to that. Quickly.
So yeah, I'm going to start with the original trilogy. Love the characters. The scope of the films was absolutely amazing. Deep, compelling storytelling that I have yet to see matched in that way. And then the prequel trilogy, I think that the fight scenes were awesome throughout the whole entire trilogy. However, to me, the storytelling was just anger-inducing because it was so badly written. And then you had mediocre acting throughout the whole thing. And Hayden Christensen can't sell a scene to save his life. I wasn't convinced with anything that he did. Every time I saw him, even though I should be happy he was there, I wanted him to get off of the screen. The only thing that he did that I thought was cool was when near the end when he looked really angry and you see the kind of tear roll down his cheek. I was like, okay, I think that's the best thing you can do is look angry, but you can't do any of the emotional scenes at all. I just found it very laughable.
Like I said,
In
I think
terms
that's
of
the
the
reason.
sequel,
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was
oh, wait,
gonna
go ahead.
say, I think that's the reason why he got the role is because that angry look. It's like you said, he couldn't sell the scene, but that look on his face was like, okay, yeah, we'll give it to him for this, you know. But
Right, that might very well be the case. Um, and then in terms of the sequel trilogy, I thought it was a complete mess. You know, those humans didn't know what they were doing, what they wanted to do, and it's very unfortunate that it was a great waste of potential because it had the potential to rival the original trilogy if you would have had competent writers and individuals that are passionate about Star Wars. So it's unfortunate. I didn't like necessarily, hate all those films. I just was like, what kind of writing is this? Are you serious? It just made me facepalm too many times. But, I guess like a lot of humans say, it looked very nice from a visual perspective, but with that much money attached to the trilogy, you telling me something looks nice, I'm just like, okay, well, the fuck else do you have? Yep, I'm not five. You know what I mean? I want something else. I want something of substance. Um, in terms of Solo, I enjoyed the movie. I thought it was fun, but to me, it just came across as very unnecessary. Um, I'm just like, why do you need to make this? You just gave us the OG Han Solo, and then you're like, here's the new guy. And because it was Star Wars, I was like, of course I'm going to watch it. And I'm glad that I didn't find it boring or anything. But I'm like, I don't need this here. Like, if you were to remove it, it would make no difference to me. Um, and then in terms of Rogue One, I liked it quite a bit. It kind of reminded me of the original Star Wars trilogy. I think if it would have had an extra bit of spice in there to mix around with the rest of the ingredients involved, I might have put it very close to Empire Strikes Back. So it slightly fell short, but that sort of feeling that the movie gave me is something that I didn't experience too many times with the other installments of Star Wars.
Hot damn. Very good, Terrence. Very, very good. I'm going to read back um your picks. Number 11 was Rise of Skywalker. Number 10 was Solo. Number 9 is Last Jedi. Number 8 is Force Awakens. Number 7 is The Phantom Menace. 6 is Attack of the Clones. Number 5 was what is that? Can't read my damn right. Revenge of the Sith. Number 4 is Rogue One. Number 3 was Return of the Jedi. Number 2 was Star Wars or New Hope. And number 1 was Empire Strikes Back. Very good. My list is number 11 is Rise of Skywalker. And the reason why I said that because Rise of Skywalker was highly anticipated. They promoted it and they thought it was going to be good and it turned out being garbage. That's why I put it 11 instead of Solo. Now, on a hot sunny day, Solo is a sack of shit. And the reason why I put it higher than that because we didn't ask for it. So if I didn't ask for something, I ain't necessarily caring whether or not it's be good or bad, and I got no expectations. But I had expectations for Rise of Skywalker, and it was a shit sandwich. So that's why that's 11 and Solo is 10. Number 9 is The Last Jedi. I did not like the way they did Luke. I'm one of those people that I read every leak I can get my hands on. It don't bother me. And some of the leaks I got my hands on was saying Luke's supposed to have this awesome lightsaber scene where he's supposed to be like controlling 20 different lightsabers at the same time and shit. I was all hyped to see that. Didn't see none of that shit. Yeah, I saw him sucking on some kind of elephant tit or something with blue milk. So
Yeah,
that shit pissed me off. So he is number 9. Force Awakens. I can barely remember that movie. Not impressed with it. None of the sequels really impressed me. So, well, I'm lying. No, I'm not lying. Rise of Skywalker, Last Jedi, and Force Awakens, all the shit sandwiches. Don't know what they did. I read the book of Rise of Skywalker. It explained the look. The book is so much better, but the book came after. So if you read the book, you might have a clear understanding of that mess. I have the
I've
book.
explained. I'm sorry. I've explained that was the big difference between the sequel trilogies and the other trilogies. Normally, with the other trilogies, those books would come out a month or two ahead of time.
Yeah.
You could read it and get all the extra stuff they may not put in the movies. And you watch the movie and you're like, oh, wait, that wasn't in there. But okay, I got where we're going. And then I always said that Disney put the books out afterwards to make up for the shit they didn't put in and try to explain it. And it's like, why?
The book is better. It helps
Yeah.
explain the movie, but still, the movie still needs help. Rogue One, I like Rogue One for several reasons. I'm a big time Donnie Yen fan. I like this character, and I've said this hundreds of times. The last 3 minutes of Rogue One to me saved the movie. That was awesome. I played that thing back. I guarantee you, when it came on YouTube, must be 50 times one day. I just kept watching. So Darth Vader, he went through him like a damn lawnmower. So definitely better than the sequels. My number 6 is Attack of the Clones. I like different parts of that. I like the part with Samuel Jackson kill Jango Fett. I'm a big Mace Windu fan. The little bit of banter between him and Django. Obi-Wan and Django. Also, the fight that led between Dooku and Yoda was highly anticipated. So I definitely like that. Number 5 is The Phantom Menace. Darth Maul. That's all I'm going to say about that. First time we'd ever seen a double-edged lightsaber. First time we ever seen a Sith taking on 2 Jedi at the same time. I do agree. So I think Chris said this, that they got rid of him too soon. They should have saved. Well, live action, they got rid of him too soon. If you watch Rebels and if you watch Clone Wars, then of course you know what happens. But live action, I would have at least have him in 1 or maybe 2 more movies. It would have been cool if he could have met Darth Vader. That would have been a cool fight, but too late for that. The Phantom Menace is my next one. I just said, I'm sorry. Return of the Jedi is the next one. Only thing I don't like about Return of the Jedi, I'm not a fan of the Ewoks. Didn't like that part of the movie. But I knew that was like a marketing thing, trying to get kids into it. Not a fan of Ewoks, but I like the speeder bikes in the jungle. I like them trying to turn Luke Skywalker and stuff. And I think, like Anzo said, you could feel him wanting to turn to the dark side, but he was able to get himself under control. And he was able to turn back his dad. That was cool. He learned that Leia was his sister. That good stuff. So I definitely like that. Number 3 is A New Hope. First Star Wars. First one that got everybody that likes Star Wars hooked on it, except Mads. She got hooked on Revenge of the Sith, I think she said.
I was introduced to the prequels first.
Okay. We're sorry. But New Hope, awesome. Like I said, got me hooked into Star Wars. Han Solo, of course, he stole the show for me in that movie. I agree with what was said earlier. They should not have killed him. Rise of Skywalker as another strike against. Let him go off into the sunset, but I wouldn't kill him like they did. But that's here nor there. Now, this is going to be controversial because my number 2 is going to be Empire Strikes Back. I'm seeing everybody here except one other person chose Empire Strikes Back as the number 1. I like Empire Strikes Back. I don't really have nothing bad to say about it. It is awesome, a good movie, but I think Revenge of the Sith was better because it showed us Anakin, how he was seduced to the dark side, what was his motivation, someone that he would pretty much raise him from a little boy to a grown man, with most like brothers, sometimes father and son. And in one conversation, he changed all that love he had for him and hated him and tried to kill him after one conversation. And then in the theater that I went to, the minute he put his helmet on and he started breathing, the crowd went crazy. So Like I said, Darth Vader's the man. He's always one of the baddest bad guys. I think he was in everybody's top 10 in the of the 50, I think, if I'm not mistaken. So maybe for Terrence. But Revenge of the Sith, how Anakin was seduced to the dark side, the fight between him and Obi-Wan on Mustafar, how he killed the younglings. Mace Windu almost defeated the Emperor, and then he got defeated. All that was, to me, it had my attention in the theater. So that is my number one.
It's funny because what you said about the reaction in the theater, right? None of the new movies had zero reactions on none of the premieres that I went to.
Nope.
None.
No.
Same here. So wait, Danny,
Mm-hmm.
you said your number 7 was Rogue One?
Uh-huh.
So you put all the prequels and the originals ahead of Rogue One? Yeah, am I correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Because I remember we had an argument before about this, and you were like, "Oh no, the last 10 minutes of Rogue One was better than anything in the prequels." That's what you said.
The last 10 minutes, man. I can't put the last 10 minutes. Well, I can put it above Attack of the Clones and Phantom Menace. I really could. But Return of the Jedi, New Hope, and Empire Strikes Back, Revenge of the Sith, I can't do it.
Okay. So you're saying it could be interchangeable with the other two, though?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The last 10 minutes, man, that shit is fire, man. God, I swear that shit is fire.
I don't even think it's 10 minutes, more like 5.
Well, I didn't see it. Nobody saw it. I didn't see it. When I saw that shit, I was like, what the hell? Dead. To me, it was worth it. I was kind of mad. I was like, damn, I paid my money for this shit. Then when I saw that, I was happy.
That's how I felt about Solo, man. I was like, oh my God, I really paid for this fucking movie. I should have watched this shit bootleg.
I got to see it free the premiere weekend out in LA.
Yeah, you see?
I didn't even pay to go see it. I waited till it came out.
Mm.
Well,
Come on,
bought it on
bootleg
special.
is a Canadian pastime. Why didn't you see it that way?
I should have.
Hmm?
Star Wars, so I said I'll go pay for Star Wars, but man.
Well, it was you. It was your ranting on Facebook that made me. Maybe I shouldn't go see it.
The movie was so trash, bro. The way he gets his last name and that little worm creature.
I agree with the. I agree with the fact that the Solo thing's stupid. He gets up there. What's your name, son? What's your name, son? And he said, "Listen, you can come up with a much, much better way of him getting his last name."
Yeah.
You mean he didn't pick Skywalker?
Well, what is that?
Well, I mean, if you're gonna pick a name in Star Wars, of course you're gonna pick Skywalker. I mean, even Ray knew that. Come on,
right?
What does it matter how you get his name? The name is still cool.
No, because it's his name.
I asked it in the sense that it made sense that he said it that way, but I was like, nah. I mean, they could have done better with that. They could have done better.
Why couldn't his last name just been Han Solo? So what's your name? Han Solo. Why couldn't it have been that? Why did someone have to actually give him a last name, which he kept? Like, I don't understand that. I just said it. My name is Han Solo.
Wasn't he a slave? So slave don't get it left. I don't know. I don't even care about that.
Anakin was a slave. He got a last name.
Huh?
Anakin was a slave. He got a last name.
That's right. You did.
Facts.
I guess different slave masters. I guess I don't know. Shit.
Fuck that. Just
on the plantation, you don't get the fucking name. You get what the fuck they give you.
Yeah, I guess you can put it that way. Yes.
Kuja, Toby. All right, people. This was a good night. We only been on 1 hour and 9 minutes. That is fantastic. Before we go, I'm gonna let everybody go around and wrap out this show. Tell me anything that's going up on your show, anything we want to hear about, anything that's new, anything that you want us to possibly join. I think that we talked earlier, Chris and Anzo, and we were going to skip next week because it's Christmas. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That's what I would like to do. Now,
not a problem.
Now, Wonder Woman comes out next Friday. So you're going to do a special show Monday about all Wonder Woman on here, or
can do that.
How you want to do that?
Yeah. Do you want to handle that one, and we'll run it on your channel and on there, or Anzo on your channel and on here? Either way.
Yeah, whichever.
Well, shit, we can 3-part it. Don't make me no difference. I got to get my computer back right because it's all jacked up now.
I talked to LG already. We'll get you figured out. It's not that big of a deal, he said. So we'll figure it.
All right, Terrence, you go first.
All right, what's up, humans? Terrence here. You can find me on this channel, and you can find me on T-Virus Terrence. And just in case if someone from the Terrence family happens to find this and listen to this particular segment of the stream, I want you to know that I've been paying attention to all the humans flooding into my channel. It is a combination of new members of the Terrence family, and then some as old as back to 2011 and 2012 and all that stuff. And some of them have expressed that they had been searching for me, which I thought was interesting. So even though I'm always willing to, walk alone and go into battle by myself, I don't need no extras with me or none of that. Once I go outside or go into the battle, when I see that there are humans there that love and support me, it does make me smile. That's incredible to me, especially since, to a large degree, I don't care about most humans, but I do respect, support, and loyalty and all that kind of stuff. So, thank you for that. At the moment, I have over 70 playlists created, over 2,000 videos. There are so many on standby, so I'm always going to figure out something to talk about, and it's always fun to me. Anything else is extra, and thank you for all the support. Terrence out.
Before I go to the next person, I'm going to say this to Terrence. It is going to be a compliment, okay? I am seriously thinking I'm talking about the wrong content. Because this brother is talking about porno, which is something I can get into, and getting 65,000 freaking views. So something is wrong with the content I'm talking, because the most views I've ever gotten is about 200. So I'm seriously thinking about talking about porno with Terrence, because that cat is getting views out the ass. So I want to give him a round of applause for doing his thing.
I am not rating alternative Star Wars movies. I'm just saying.
I'm just saying, bro. 65,000 views, man. We're talking about something I could talk about, just like breathing air.
Yeah, I appreciate. I appreciate the compliment. Like, in fact, there are a lot of humans that, like, I started doing that like 6.5 years ago, like here and there. But to my surprise, humans were actually excited that, I had the balls to talk about something like that. They were saying, they're like, you can talk about that stuff on here. And I was like, yeah, as long as you don't show anything. I'm like, it's just, you have to want to do it and, have the information, and, you have to be open about your experiences. And a lot of humans will embrace that. They like honesty.
I ain't talking about no experiences. No. I'm just talking about what I see on the screen. I ain't going that deep.
Right. No, I don't mean necessarily, with you per se. I'm just saying, like, when they come in and express joy, and they're like, oh yeah, I know about this person, or that's interesting that you explained it like that, or, they find it to be funny. I'm like, oh, thank you. To me, it's just natural, and it just happens.
I got you. Also, saw your video today about Black Adam. I'm definitely interested in seeing that. Next is going to be Mad's Mama Bear.
Hey guys, Mads Mama Bear here. You can find me at Mads Mama Bear here on YouTube and also on Twitter. And that's Mads Mama Bear 2, the number 2, over on Instagram. Every Sunday night I do Poetry After Dark. If you missed it, go catch the replay. Thursday nights, I'm always on with the Queen's Council. Though next week we are taking it off for the holiday, because that is going to fall right on Christmas Eve. And beyond that, yes, I do have some special stuff coming up. I've got some crafts coming up. You got to stay tuned. And a very special video that has been in procedure for a while now. Should be ready to load up this week.
Good deal. Good deal. All right, Mr. Bosco Scenario, a.k.a. Gascar. What's going on with you, buddy?
Well, you can catch me on the Real Review on Sundays for the Mandarin Roundtable. You can also find me on the Khaotic Conversation on Mondays with Danny. Thank you again, Danny, for having me.
Not a problem.
You can also find me on Tuesdays for the Chaos List with my brother Anzo. We discuss 3 topics that he throws at us. On Wednesdays, you can find me again with my brother Anzo and Roberto from Uptown, Montreal, where we get stuff off our chest and, have the chat, give us their feedbacks and topics and back and forth. There's no limit to the conversation. It's a nice back and forth with our guests on the panel, with myself as well, and the chat. So check us out. Hit a like for everybody. Spread the word. And yeah, man, thank you for having me.
Not a problem. All right, Mr. Chris Knight, what's up with you, fella?
All right. Well, not sure if it'll be the first of the year or whatnot, but we're going to get back to a definite schedule. I've been taking Mondays and Tuesdays and such to do pretty much behind the scenes work, try to get some stuff fixed up and things like that. But you can find me here on Mondays, Chaotic Conversation on Danny Graham's channel, Comic Chat. Tuesdays over on Anzo's channel, Buddy Ford Entertainment, for the Chaos List, and on Wednesdays on my channel on the Rule of 3 with the 2 on either side of me here. And we're probably going to start doing some, like Danny said, some extra programming here and there on Chaos Central, but on our channels also. And still doing music reviews, retro reactions, trailer reactions if we ever start really getting them again. All sorts of stuff like that. Be back to gaming streams, the Gospel According to Chris, the Weekly Rumble, Weekly Wrap Up, the Mandalorian Roundtable, lots of stuff, lots and lots and lots of stuff. So,
good deal, good deal. Anzo, you're up next, bro. What's going on with you and your channel?
Yes, sir. That's right. Tomorrow night, Chaos List. You guys check it out. Wednesday, we got the OOC, so I hope you guys check that out too. Oh yeah, did you guys since I wasn't on the Mandalorian Roundtable, did you guys hear I got my show got a plug on Mandalorian? Huh?
What show?
OOC, Off Our Chest. You didn't hear what I got?
JJ?
No, on the Mandalorian, the Mandalorian. After he blows up the thing, Mando looks at him and he's like, "Oh, I just had to get something off my chest."
Oh my god!
I was like, "Oh shit! Look at that! A wicked plug."
And then you didn't like the show. Then you didn't like the episode, so that don't count.
Episode wasn't that great, but whatever. I'll probably clip that part. I should clip that.
What'd you give that grade? What'd you grade it?
A D.
Oh my god!
Wow.
Listen, man, the girl was punching the freaking stormtroopers in the face with her helmet.
What does that matter? What does that matter?
Man, I don't like that crap.
Shatter gloves that had the knuckles, as well as her what's that called? Bracer.
I didn't see no knuckles.
Yeah, I checked after you said it. I rewatched it.
Trash.
Yeah.
And the blaster losing bullets or running out and stuff. I was like, nah, sorry.
It was a malfunction.
it's mechanical. It can do that.
Yeah, it didn't work for me. That didn't work for me. But I will.
Wait. Here, listen here. George Lucas wanted a used and lived-in universe. Guns go bad.
Well, didn't work for me because I had never seen it before. So when it happened, now I'm like, no. And it happens at like such a convenient time, right? That they're jumping on him. There's these fucking aliens with sticks, and he has a gun, and all of a sudden the gun doesn't work. Yeah, okay.
Thermal detonators too.
Blow me with that bullshit. Blow me with that.
Star Wars. Well, I would not want to be a director of Star Wars. That is the ultimate kind of pressure, bro.
It is.
I would. I just have a good story. That's all.
They think they have good stories, so they come out.
You'd be torn apart just like everybody else right now.
Maybe I would, but hey, I'd still try.
No, that's what they're doing.
We said live action. Mandalorian is not a live action movie, bro.
I never said it was.
No, not you.
He put Mandalorian number 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I'd put that over anything that the sequel trilogies if I had to.
You ain't by yourself on that.
So, that being said, sorry. I almost lost my train of thought. That being said, guys, I hope you check out the channel. Subscribe to everybody on the panel. You know, what we do here is we try to entertain you guys. Hope you guys enjoy what we do, you know. Peace.
And last but not least, I am Danny, a.k.a. Comic Chat. A lot of shows, a lot of content, a lot of different people, a lot of different friends, a lot of different information. Please click on somebody's channel that you like, even if you don't like them, support them. Hit subscribe. You ain't gonna watch us. Just hit the subscribe button. That's what we need. But we want you to watch us because we try to bring you good content, good information, and we try to be entertaining. Sometimes it's kind of hard coming up with these topics. I know for me, I can't speak for other people on the panel, but trying to think of things interesting that will get y'all to come here and spend an hour or two of your time. I don't want it to be boring, so I'm trying to think of something that's going to be very interesting for next week. Well, the week after, because next week is Christmas. But I think we already agreed about we're going to try to do the Wonder Woman thing. But if not, I'm going to have a backup plan. But anyway, I just want to tell y'all a lot of shows: Square One, OOC, Rule of Three, Chaos List, Khaotic Conversation, Equilibrium. Whenever that'll come back, I don't know. God, I feel like I left a child in a department store and didn't go back for
at least you're still worried about it.
Yeah, I'm telling you. I mean, but
the problem comes by is when you leave your kid in the department store and you're like, he's all right.
Yeah. But it's a lot of good information, man. A lot of good content. We really love doing this. We don't have to do it, but we do it because we want to, and we do it because we hope that it entertains you. We all geeks and watching all this kind of stuff, and sometimes it just amazes me how heated we get about stuff that ain't real. Oh my God! Sometimes I have to catch myself. I'm like, damn, this shit ain't real. You get mad at somebody over shit that ain't real. Keep saying that. When you feel yourself getting mad, just say most of the time, except on Square One, because that shit is real. This shit ain't real, so don't get mad. Don't blow a gasket. Don't lose your cool. But, like I said, until next week.
Damn, you don't have the picture.
I don't have the picture no more, man. But I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna get my shit back, man. A lot of my stuff it's in the cloud somewhere, and LDG is gonna help me get it back along with Chris. I tried to clean up my computer last week. It's fast now. It's fast as shit, boy. I can do all kind of stuff now. But I lost all of my stuff on the original StreamYard that I'm on. I'm gonna get that fixed. But I appreciate all y'all coming in, checking us out, and we appreciate it. Until the next show, which will be tomorrow on Anzo's show, The Chaos List. I don't know what 3 questions he's gonna come up with, but I know he's gonna come up with something that's fire. So until then, peace. Check us out. And we'll talk at you later.